Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching this week's edition of the Political Stock Exchange, and this week we'll focus on Chhattisgarh. We'll bring you the results of the Sea Voter Political Stock Exchange opinion poll for Chhattisgarh, and then we'll have the weekly tracker on the Ramesh Bidhuri issue. His outburst in Parliament, the manner in which the BJP has responded or not responded to it, and what the Indian voter thinks of this affair. All that and more on this week's episode of the Political Stock Exchange.
Who is winning Chhattisgarh? Is Baghel's stock up or down? What's the opinion on Bidhuri's hate speech? The most definitive sentiment tracker, Political Stock Exchange. Big focus on Newstrack.
The state of war in Chhattisgarh is heating up. The Prime Minister and Rahul Gandhi have been in the poll-bound state while the PM hit out at the Congress, comparing it to a rusting iron. Rahul Gandhi brandished a remote control, claiming that the Prime Minister secretly helps businessmen.
आज छत्तीसगढ़ के रेल नेटवर्क के विकास का एक नया अध्याय लिखा जा रहा है। इस रेल नेटवर्क से बिलासपुर मुंबई रेल लाइन के झारसुगुड़ा बिलासपुर सेक्शन की व्यस्तता कम होगी। इसी तरह जो अन्य रेल लाइनें शुरू हो रही हैं, रेल कॉरिडोर बन रहे हैं, वो छत्तीसगढ़ के औद्योगिक विकास को नई ऊंचाई देंगे। केंद्र सरकार के आज के प्रयासों से देश के पावर हाउस के रूप में छत्तीसगढ़ की ताकत भी कई गुना बढ़ते जा रही है।
इंडी गठबंधन ने तय किया है कि वो भारत की सनातन संस्कृति को समाप्त करके रहेगा। ऐसी सनातन संस्कृति को समाप्त करने का ऐलान इंडी अलायंस के लोगों ने किया है। छत्तीसगढ़ के लोगों को, देश के लोगों को इनसे बहुत सतर्क रहना है। ये भारत की हजारों साल से चली आ रही संस्कृति को मिटाना चाहते हैं। ये भारत को मिटाना चाहते हैं।
किसान न्याय योजना में 21,000 करोड़ रुपए हमने छत्तीसगढ़ के किसानों को इनपुट सब्सिडी के माध्यम से दिया। स्वास्थ्य में 5 लाख रुपए परिवार के लिए 70 लाख परिवारों को फायदा मिला। 380 अंग्रेजी के स्कूल खोले और 42,000 वैकेंसियां भरी। नरेंद्र मोदी जी से पूछा कि आप कास्ट सेंसस से डरते क्यों हो? कास्ट सेंसस का डेटा सबके सामने रख दो। जो आपकी सरकार की सच्चाई है, आप हिंदुस्तान की जनता को दिखा दो। डरो मत। मगर नहीं, उनके मंत्री कहते हैं हमारे ओबीसी के विधायक हैं।
We want to show you the results of the Sea Voter Political Stock Exchange opinion poll for Chhattisgarh. I want to introduce our guests joining us on the Political Stock Exchange, starting with the lead cephalogist at Sea Voter, Yashwant Deshmukh, with us on this broadcast representing the Bharatiya Janata Party. Its national spokesperson Sanju Verma. Radhika Khera represents the Congress, and we've got Amitabh Tiwari, columnist and political analyst. Let's take a look at the Chhattisgarh opinion poll results. I'll start by looking at the seat share and vote share projections. Remember, Chhattisgarh has always been very tightly fought. The margin in Chhattisgarh, even when the BJP was winning big, used to typically be 1 or 2% in terms of votes. What does it look like at this moment in the 2023 Chhattisgarh opinion poll data? Here it is on your screen. For Chhattisgarh, this is the first poll put out by India Today. Pitched battle taking place in this state. The Congress in the last elections had 43% vote share. The BJP had 33%. See voters projecting that in this election, the BJP could end up at a 41% vote share. That's a gain of 8% from the last election. That's a big gain because the battle is largely Congress and BJP. But despite the BJP gaining 8% votes, the Congress goes up from 43 to 46, which is a 3% gain, and still has a 5% advantage over the BJP. And remember, in largely a bipolar election, a 5% vote share gap is substantial. So let's see how this translates into seats, from 7 coming down to 1, a loss of 6. The big change, the Congress on a downward slope, the BJP on an upward slope, but despite that, a massive gap of 23 seats between the Congress and the BJP. The Congress still very comfortably in pole position. They need 46. See voter projects them at 41. So let me go across to Yashwant Deshmukh on these numbers first. The graph for the BJP is tending upwards. The graph for the Congress is sloping downwards. But there is still a gap and the Congress is in pole position. Is that the way, according to you, it's likely to stay? Or do you think the next few weeks, because of the way the two trajectories are going, the Congress on the way down, the BJP on the way up, will make Chhattisgarh exciting over the next few weeks?
Well, Chhattisgarh has become exciting, no doubt about that, but still largely in our trackers that we have been doing, we are looking at Chhattisgarh as a more of a going in a pro-incumbency right now, Rahul, simply because that, yes, the main principal opposition, BJP's vote share has massively increased. But somehow that vote share is not coming from the Congress account. If a ruling party maintains or increases the vote share, that is something which accounts for a pro-incumbency kind of emotion. What is interesting to see that even though everybody looks at Chhattisgarh as a bipolar, but last elections, every fourth Chhattisgarhi voter went to some other party, not the Congress and the BJP. That is being squeezed down to just 1 out of 10 right now instead of 4 out of 10. And that bipolarization of the state is what is making it much more intense, likely to make it much more intense in the coming weeks and days. But as far as overall picture is concerned, even though there is a hint of anti-incumbency, but largely speaking, Congress increasing the vote share, BJP increasing much more, making it a much more typically bipolar. Still, it looks like at this point of time, as we talk, as a pro-incumbency emotion on the ground.
In case you're wondering, how is it that the Congress's vote share is also going up and the BJP's vote share is going up by 8%? It's because the Janta Congress Chhattisgarh, the JCCJ of Ajit Jogi, when he was expelled for anti-party activities, he and his son Amit, in Chhattisgarh in 2016 in June, they set up their own party. They contested 57 seats in the last assembly election, won 5 with 7.61% votes. That vote is now getting split between the BJP and the Congress, which is why others are going down so sharply. Now I want to go across to Radhika Khera. The trend line suggests the Congress still in pole position. You're 5 seats more than the majority. But the BJP has gained ground. They had completely collapsed in 2018. From there, the BJP seems to be making a strong comeback.
Well, Rahul, I don't agree with the results of the See Voter survey. The See Voter survey in 2018 had also predicted that the Bharatiya Janata Party, the opinion poll had predicted, is going to go ahead and form the government. And I have your article from India Today from 2018, September 7th, where your first political stock exchange also said that the respondents favor incumbent Chief Minister Mr. Raman Singh as the next Chief Minister. So the See Voter had already declared that Raman Singh ji would be the next Chief Minister. That is what their opinion poll said, but that did not happen. And we saw a massive loss for the Bharatiya Janata Party. They were down at 15 seats. The Congress at 68. This is the highest number of seats any party has won in Chhattisgarh. Now coming back to what has happened. if you see today's newspaper, the Bharatiya Janata Party has appointed over 220 national leaders from different states to come and work in Chhattisgarh. They do not have a face in Chhattisgarh who is going to represent them. Till date, they have not been able to tell the people of Chhattisgarh who is going to be their face. They do not believe in Dr. Raman Singh anymore. If they have to send 220 national big leaders for just 90 seats, that just shows how scared the Bharatiya Janata Party are, and they've already accepted that we are losing. The Congress has worked extremely hard in the last 5 years. Chhattisgarh is the state with the lowest unemployment in the country, and we were, when we formed the government, we were given a state where schools had been shut down. In the Naxal area, we were given a state which had malaria at its peak in the Naxal area. We had all sorts of unemployment and everything, which the Congress party
Sanju
has
Verma, the Congress's argument, it doesn't matter where the graphs are going.
Over 60 awards in the last 5 years.
In the end, the poll shows the Congress in front, the BJP behind, a big enough vote share gap to ensure that Raman Singh is likely to get re-elected. The 5% vote share gap between the runner-up and the winner, which would suggest that that's very difficult to change.
Okay. Rahul, I'm not going to rubbish the C voter, poll outcome, because by doing that, I would actually be negating, various instances when Yashwant Deshmukh has given a majority to the BJP in various states and he's been proven right. But keeping the C voter poll aside for a minute, as somebody who tracks politics very closely, I want to tell you this, that in the last 2018 Chhattisgarh Assembly elections, the vote share of the BJP was 33% and that of the Congress was 43%. There was a 10% difference. But you're right, the BJP managed to get only 15 seats and the Congress got a whopping 68 seats. Because the BJP was not able to translate vote share into winnable votes. But from 2019 Lok Sabha elections, again, the gap was 10%. But this time, the BJP had a vote share of 51% in Chhattisgarh in Lok Sabha 2019. And the Congress in Lok Sabha 2019 had a vote share of 41%, 10% behind the BJP. With a 51% vote share, the BJP in Lok Sabha 2019 got 9 seats and the Congress got 2 seats. The limited point I'm making is between 2018 and 2019, the BJP, while there were 2 separate elections, one was a Vidhan Sabha election, one was a general election. Despite that, there was a massive 10% upsurge in the BJP's vote share, point number 1.
No, but that's
BJP
for Modi. See, the fact is that you're not projecting Dr. Raman Singh. He's rather been discredited from within in the manner in which... No, ma'am, here's the point I'm making. Ma'am, just respond to my question. Prime Minister Modi, and our data in the next few answers will show you that even more, still remains massively popular. It's your state leadership in Chhattisgarh which doesn't seem to have been able to generate the same kind of support as the Prime Minister has.
Rahul, why is it that you guys, आप लोगों ने सोच के रखा है BJP का chain of thinking, उसको एक बार तो interrupt करना ही है. My entire thought process, you nicely interjected and, what have you. Let me now come to the moot point that you're saying. I agree that Lok Sabha elections are fought on Narendra Modi's face and state elections are a different ballgame altogether. But I want to make one very interesting point to you, which no anchor, no political analyst is giving us credit for. Between December 2022 and December 2022, you being a seasoned journalist, you know this. BJP has effected a massive organizational change in Chhattisgarh. Earlier, Chhattisgarh, BJP was known by only 3 leaders: Raman Singh, Saroj Pandey, and Brijmohan Agarwal. But now, Arun Sao, who's the Adhyaksh of Chhattisgarh BJP, is very popular amongst the Adivasi community, amongst OBCs, amongst the Dalit community as well. Point number 2, we also recruited ex-IS officer Vijay Sharma and O.P. Chaudhary. O.P. Chaudhary represents the bastion of the OBC within Chhattisgarh, and he's also a very popular face. Then we've recruited and given him the position of vice president. He will be a big calling card for the BJP. The name
Okay.
is Kedar Kashyap, the son
Okay.
of popular BJP leader Baliram
Okay, so you've spoken enough. You've explained how you've got a new party going, and the likes of Dr. Aman Singh have been left in the past because they didn't have the kind of credibility the party would have liked. Let me take you through some of the other questions in this survey. What's the most important issue for the voters of Chhattisgarh? C voter had 30% of the respondents citing unemployment, 26% citing rising prices, 10% citing poverty, 8% citing corruption. How satisfied are you, and now look at this question very carefully, with the performance of the central government? 83% of the respondents, 8 out of 10 in that poll say they like the performance of the Modi Sarkar. Let me flip that question and come to how many people like the state government. That's the central government. The next question is how many people are satisfied with the performance of the state government? 77% say yes, 23% say no. Amitabh Tiwari, this is fascinating. The same state, phenomenally high satisfaction numbers for the central government, remarkably high satisfaction numbers for the state government, and it's the same people. They're very clear about who they like, where they want. Sabko apni jagah pata hai.
Yeah, so it shows that the people are very clear about the two elections, the national and the state elections, and it seems that both the Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well as the Baghel, CM Baghel, is very popular amongst the people. What I would also like to point out that if the satisfaction level is 77% with the Chhattisgarh government, but the vote share is 45-46%, what it means is that there is significant anti-incumbency against the local MLAs, and that is what is being reflected in the seat tally, wherein the BJP is gaining 23 and the Congress is losing, I think, 17 seats as per you. And one of the most surprising things is that Chhattisgarh has the lowest rate of unemployment and is one of the states which has the lowest inflation, but people are saying that these two are the most important issues for them. So this is a bit contradictory for me. Either the people are not aware of the jargons and the unemployment numbers and the CPI numbers which we throw at the voters, or there is some disconnect here. But it shows that there is significant anti-incumbency against MLAs, and your overall results also shows that we are reverting to the mean. 51-38 used to be the tally of 2003 to 13 in favor of the BJP. The BJP lost 9% vote share last time, and the dent was made by the Jogi Congress. And with Jogi Congress declining from 5 seats to 1 seat now, losing by polls, may not even contest polls as per some reports, this voter or this vote share is going back to the BJP, and that is why we are seeing a close contest here in terms of the seats as well as the vote share.
Okay, I want to come to the next question. How satisfied are people with the Prime Minister? 80% say they are satisfied, 15% say not satisfied, 80% saying satisfied. How satisfied are you with Bhupesh Baghel? 78% saying satisfied, 20% saying not satisfied. How satisfied are you with the opposition leader Aman Singh? It's interesting, 56% say they're satisfied, 29% say they're not satisfied. Is the BJP, Yashwant Deshmukh, making a mistake in sidelining Bhupesh Baghel to the extent that he's been sidelined? 56% saying satisfied isn't bad. I mean, the poll seems to think more of Bhupesh Baghel than the BJP does at the moment.
Well, I will answer this question, but I need to say one thing before, even though it is very, very flattering and immensely satisfying for people to think that every tracker, every poll that is released is from C voter. But that is not the case. To the Congress spokesperson, with all due respect, almost for a year before last election, we were very clear and our trackers were constantly projecting Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh to the Congress. It was, I would not like to name the other agencies, but it was different polls that we were putting. So having said that, for the thing that Amitabh said, that contradiction, if you will compare the numbers from Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and other states, Amitabh, that is true, that you will figure out number of people who are saying unemployment is the issue is much higher in Rajasthan, much higher in Madhya Pradesh than compared to Chhattisgarh. But still, even that comparisons aside, still is an issue. Inflation is an issue because people do not like to compare the rate of tomato that they buy in different states. They look at their own money and they look at how mangy or how saste is the sabji in there at that morning. So that is one reason that they say whatever their issue are. Number one. Number two, the bipolarization and everything. And I agree with Amitabh on one point big time that it's an acute incumbency level against the sitting MLAs a lot because when you see the MOTN numbers, Rahul, you realize that in fact Chhattisgarh CM is among the best rated CMs across India when it comes to performance rated by their own electorate, own voters. I think he was number 2 right after Naveen Babu. So hardly any surprise that he is being rated high. But there is a sense of anti-establishment anti-incumbency that I said that is largely on account of huge number of non-performing sitting MLAs. And I guess that is something which any popular chief minister, or for that matter, even an extremely popular prime minister also has to take into account that people, when they win in the name of their leadership's popularity, in the name of their own party, but they stop working on the ground, then there is a micro level anti-incumbency that starts building up, and even the best of the CM and best of the PM sometimes have to face that as a headache. So I think Amitabh has a point over there when he mentions the anger against the sitting MLAs.
Okay, who's the preferred chief ministerial candidate in Chhattisgarh? Bhupesh Baghel coming in at 49% popularity, Raman Singh coming in with 24%, T.S. Singh Deo, whose deputy CM has been one of the key Congress leaders, comes in at 13%. Amitabh Tiwari, do you think this strategy on the part of the BJP, as Sanju Verma was describing, to induct other leaders to try and reduce the significance of Raman Singh, who kind of got discredited towards the end of his last term, is the right strategy, or do you think they probably might be making a mistake by undermining his position, given that he's still the #1 face according to our poll?
See, one thing in this question, Rahul, what happens is that if you ask anybody who is the preferred CM candidate, the existing CM or the incumbent CM tends to get few extra points in this. Number one. Number two, also because the opposition or the BJP does not have a CM candidate, the number of the incumbent candidates seems to be higher. If you recall all the opinion polls of Chhattisgarh and even Madhya Pradesh in 2018, Raman Singh and Shivraj Singh were the tallest CM preference leaders, but still they lost. Now coming to the strategy of the BJP, if you see the strategy of the BJP is consistent where it has been in opposition from 2014 to 2023. Wherever the party has been in opposition, it has never declared a CM face. There's not a single state, if I can recall correctly. It projects Prime Minister Modi as the super CM, seeks votes in their name, and tells the people that he will appoint his custodian and the double engine Sarkar will work under his leadership. Since Raman Singh has been a CM earlier for 15 years, of course, there is a recall value. However, the BJP has not been able to sort out the leadership issue in the state and not project.
Sanju Verma, given his high popularity, do you concede that Bhupesh Baghel in Chhattisgarh has so far been running circles around the BJP? You've come up with various strategies, but the poll clearly suggests that 78% popularity. At the center, there is Modi. In the state, there is Baghel.
Okay, Rahul, now, you're not going to like this, but, let me address the elephant in the room. I've been on a zillion debates on your channel with you specifically, and I've enjoyed each one of them. But I clearly remember, prior to the Uttarakhand results coming out, everybody said, BJP ne 2-3 CM badle hain. Pushkar Dhami is a relatively unknown face. There is, anti-incumbency. BJP is doomed to be defeated. And what happened? While the Congress got 33.5% vote share and the BJP got 46.5% vote share, the difference in vote share was not as much. But look at the number of seats the BJP got. We got 47 seats and the Congress was reduced to 19 seats. And I'm giving the example of Uttarakhand because this was one state where every political pundit worth his or her salt actually had a nice wobbly omelette on their face for getting the analysis completely wrong. And why it will be a repeat this time in Chhattisgarh, this is not my arrogance or my overconfident speaking. I urge you, Rahul, to ask your team, and this with all humility, please ask them, because Chhattisgarh has a 31% tribal population made up largely of the Gond community.
Hindi isn't his first language. No, you can make your point very quickly. You're going back to we're focusing not on rhetoric but on data. You're going back to a very old controversy for which he's apologized and said that Hindi wasn't his first language.
What's wrong with you, Rahul? What's wrong with you? Is my FOE not important to you? Let me finish.
Of course it is. You've spoken is the point I'm making. Go on.
Okay, let me finish. I think I've given more data on your show than anybody else has because data is my strong point. Having said that, you know, you might think what Sanju Verma is saying is rhetoric, but I humbly disagree. Please ask your team to ask the Adivasis on the ground in Chhattisgarh why the women Tendu leaf pluckers have not been given their bonus for the last 5 years. Please ask the people on the ground that Bhupesh Baghel, who went tom-tomming around saying, "Yahan par pura liquor ban hoga," is involved in a 2,600 crore liquor scam. Please wait now. He said he would establish 200 food parks. Bhupesh Baghel has not opened even one food park.
Let Radhika Khera respond. I also want to move to the second part of the polls. Let Radhika respond that you've got Bhupesh Baghel versus the might of the BJP election machine. They're throwing everything they've got at trying to wrest the Chhattisgarh state from the Congress and from Bhupesh Baghel. Radhika, very quickly.
Let me give the appointed reply to the BJP spokesperson here. She talked about new faces like Mr. Sahu, who is very popular in Chhattisgarh. Ma'am, you're also forgetting in the last 5 years, there were 3 by-elections that took place in Chhattisgarh and you were decimated in all of them. The Congress won all 3 of them in thumping victories. When you talk about the Adivasis, the STs and the SCs in the state, you're forgetting that it is your governor who sat on the reservation bill, which we have been requesting to clear. But your governor sat on the bill, she was removed. Now another governor is there, he is also sitting on the bill and you refuse to pass their reservation. Ma'am, I did not speak in
Radhika, go on.
Kindly listen to me. I'm sorry, I don't believe in a shouting match. Let me complete. Let's coming back to the double engine Sarkar. We saw what happened to the double engine Sarkar in Karnataka. We even had the Home Minister going and asking for votes and saying, agar aap yahan pe vote Congress ko denge, to yahan pe dange ho jayenge. We saw what the people of Karnataka gave to the double engine Sarkar and Modi ji as the face of Karnataka. Same thing happened in Himachal Pradesh, which is the home state of the national president of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Again, BJP was decimated over there and the people have given their reply to the double engine Sarkar, to JP Nadda's face, and there, like you said, that he's the face and he's going to decide who the chief minister is. Coming back to Chhattisgarh, I will again repeat, the Congress party under the leadership of Shri Bhupesh Baghel ji has done immensely good work in Chhattisgarh, whether it is the schools, the Atmanan government schools, which are only Hindi speaking schools, are now English schools. And you have people removing their children from public schools and putting private schools and putting them into the government school because the education is extremely good over there with state-of-art technology. Unemployment, the data is not being provided by me, and the data is not from Mr. Amit Malviya's fake WhatsApp factory. It is the data given by the government, the national government, and they have said that the Congress-ruled Chhattisgarh has the least number of unemployment. When it comes to awards, again I will repeat, we have received over 60 awards in the last 5 years. That again, by the central government. We are not the ones giving the awards to ourselves. Please ask Mr. Modi why is he giving us awards for everything.
Though the Congress is coming down from its record highs, remember the number of seats and votes the Congress got in the last elections. 43% of the votes, 68 seats. No party has won that since Chhattisgarh was formed. Typically, the Congress used to get 36, 38, 40. That was their vote range. The BJP's vote range was 39, 41, 40. So that was their vote range. Nobody had picked up 43% vote, 68 the next government in the state of Chhattisgarh. Remember, on the political stock exchange, C-Voter and Yashwant's team of analysts every week ask questions which are specific to the news, something that's happened. They ask a few tracker questions around that. This week, it is Ramesh Bidhuri, whose language in Parliament was in the news. So let's take our viewers through what people think in the political stock exchange questions on La Affair Bidhuri. What's the opinion on Ramesh Bidhuri's abusive language in Parliament? 65% of the overall voters think this is completely unacceptable. 15% say somewhat unacceptable, but 65% saying completely unacceptable. And what's important is that even amongst the NDA voters, 58% of NDA voters, that's almost 6 out of 10 NDA voters think what Bidhuri said was unacceptable. Should the MP from Delhi issue an apology? 73% of the overall respondents think that Bidhuri needs to issue an unqualified apology. 13% say he shouldn't issue an apology. But as you can see, 73% of the respondents are calling for an unqualified apology. Even amongst those, 67% of NDA voters are wanting Bidhuri to apologize. Should there be stricter consequences on MPs like Bidhuri? 76% of overall respondents and 68% of NDA respondents want strict consequences for the use of foul language against MPs like Bidhuri. What action should have been taken? Should he have been immediately suspended? 54% of the respondents in the C-voter poll say he should have been suspended. 27% say he should have been given a warning, which is what he was done. 11% say he should have been fined. 4% say no action. But even amongst NDA voters, 47% want him to be immediately suspended, which even at this moment he hasn't been. And what's worse is that he's actually been promoted in a way by being given charge of Rajasthan. I'm told that Sanju Verma has just left this broadcast, so I won't be able to get you her perspective on the Ramesh Bidhuri matter. But I want to go across to Yashwant Deshmukh, because even amongst BJP voters, it's very clear, Yashwant, that there's a very strong sentiment that what Bidhuri did was wrong.
Absolutely, Rahul, and I think these are the matters, these are the issues which tell us that no matter how hard the political polarization is in this country, there are issues and the matters which go beyond political ideologies and political positionings, because that's what makes India what India is. Because you see, just before a week back, I think we discussed the poll or the Indian numbers on the Khalistan issue, and we saw that even in that particular poll, across the party line, there was a strong reaction in the same direction. And I guess that this happens to be a second back-to-back issue or mapping poll.
It's interesting that Bidhuri hasn't been suspended, that he's actually been promoted, made in charge of a particular belt in Rajasthan, which is the belt where Sachin Pilot comes from. So far from being suspended, he's actually just been given a warning, which is actually an unequal implementation of parliamentary rules.
Yeah, so data clearly shows, and it's very heartening that whatever Bidhuri did in the parliament is being opposed by majority of the people, 2/3 to 75%, including the NDA supporters. So the BJP now needs to smell coffee. I mean, they need to see that even their supporters, even amongst their support base, this action of Bidhuri is not being appreciated. And the speaker himself also needs to see this data, because now he needs to prove that he is a bipartisan and a constitutional head, and he needs to take action where the action was required. I think suspension is a minimum which should have been served, because people, as you mentioned, have been suspended for just making noise in the well of the house.
Radhika Khera, I just want to tell our viewers, the BJP spokesperson has left, but I will get a word in from the Congress spokesperson on the Bidhuri matter, where the opinion, both amongst opposition supporters quite naturally and even amongst NDA supporters, is asking for far stricter action than the BJP has taken so far. Radhika.
See, what happened was extremely appalling, and that is something that should not have taken place in our parliament, in our new parliament. It is extremely sad that the party which is in power has representatives who are using such kind of language for a particular community, and then he is again rewarded by being made in charge in Rajasthan elections, and the BJP is going gaga that he is going to be the Bharatiya Janata Party's answer in Rajasthan and what all. He should, if they say that he was appointed before this entire episode happened, he should have been removed immediately. The Bharatiya Janata Party does nothing, asks no questions. We have Brij Bhushan still sitting in parliament while the girls were hit and thrashed, literally, when our wrestlers were thrashed, and Mr. Brij Bhushan continues to sit in parliament. We have their Mantri Sandeep Singh in Haryana, who still continues to be a Mantri despite allegations of sexual harassment against him by a coach. So we know that the Bharatiya Janata Party is again going to sit through this. They do not believe in taking any action against their people. कोई कुछ भी action नहीं लिया जाता. Rajnath Singh ji had also said this earlier once. I remember in an old बयान of his, ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी है, यहाँ पे कोई निंदा ही करी जाती है, कोई माफी भी नहीं मांगी जाती है. And the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson has also left the show at the time when she should have been here and reacted to this. It's pretty sad what we have to see today, and this is the state that the country is facing, and the people are going to give a befitting reply in the upcoming 5 assembly elections as well as in the upcoming 2024 elections.
Okay,
and Rahul,
so let's take a look at that question. Just one second, I'm coming back to you. Should the BJP take strict disciplinary action against Ramesh Bidhuri? 71% of the respondents in this C Voter political stock exchange poll say yes, strict action should be taken. 63%. 63 is a very big number. 63% of NDA supporters are also asking for strict disciplinary action. Will the BJP take action? 35% say yes, they think the BJP will take action. 41% say no, they think the BJP will not take action. How should Parliament maintain decorum? How should Parliament ensure that MPs maintain decorum? 57% say there should be a law. 35% say if you make comments like this, there should be a lifetime ban. Will a law help? Because I don't think, Yashwant Deshmukh, that it's the absence of laws which is the problem. There are enough laws, procedures, propriety. They're doing what they are despite the existence of all the norms, rules and regulations.
Rahul, what should be most concerning to the BJP leadership and decision makers is the second last question, where not that people are saying that it should not be done. People are saying this should be condemned, there should be action taken. But when you ask people, will the BJP do it? Bigger number says that no, they think BJP is not going to do it. And that is something which should be concerning BJP, because now people are looking at it that different kind of matters where people think it is wrong, and still there has been no decision that has been taken. And somehow this also raises a red flag that a big number of people might start thinking that people are being taken for granted, that regardless of the public opinion, BJP is likely to brazen it out, and that doesn't sound good. I'm in a business of mapping perceptions, Rahul. I believe, I mean, in a MOTN poll, we have seen that BJP is comfortably placed as far as principal states and majority is concerned. But I am very clear that, people's decision is of cumulative impact. And many such decisions, if they do not go in the right direction, people might feel disappointed, disregarded, and in some way taking it lightly or letting this go or brazing it out, I somehow feel is not going to work well for the BJP.
Okay. Has the Lok Sabha Speaker been fair in punishing MPs? 42% say yes, 37% say no. But it will also depend, Amitabh Tiwari, on what Speaker Om Birla does in this case, because this is based on his past reputation, and there haven't been too many matters where BJP MPs have been way out of line, and therefore the greater number of people think that he's been fair. But if he doesn't act, then it will build the perception that he isn't being fair.
Yeah, so he needs to act fast, as you're mentioning. And in this question, there is a contradiction, if you see now. The opposition feels that he has not been fair, whereas the NDA supporters feel that he has been fair.
No, but there haven't been too many instances of BJP MPs making obnoxious comments, so there hasn't been an opportunity to judge his fairness or unfairness before this. This is a litmus test for him.
Yeah, so this is a litmus test for him. And what BJP also needs to realize is that, as Yashwantji has said, that there is a large section of neutrally ideological voter which votes for the BJP. And these issues impact the neutral or the swing voter.
You look at data closely, Amitabh. What's your sense of how many, as a percentage, what percentage of BJP voters do you think are ideologically neutral, who vote for them for development, for what they think of the Prime Minister, not because of the Hindutva ideology?
So even if you go by India Today's exit poll 2019, it says only 31% of the voters in India have voted for the same party again and again. So you can say that that's a ballpark number for a ideological voter, whereas 69% is a neutral or a voter which keeps on swinging. The other way to look at it is, let's say, BJP's worst performance in the recent times has been around 20% vote share in 2009, whereas Congress has bottomed out at 20%. So around 40% are ideologically aligned. There's a large section, 60% of voters, 60 to 70% is non-aligned. And that is what we are seeing in these surveys. 63% or 65% of NDA supporters, which translates into, by the way, almost 30% vote share of the BJP or the NDA, is not happy with the action of the speaker and the party and the leadership on this issue.
Okay, I want to take the last question. Will this hurt BJP's attempts to woo Pasmanda Muslims? 76% say yes, 12% say no. Yashwant Deshmukh, was that ever really was that something you thought the BJP was doing for symbolism, to show that even the Muslim community is part of BJP's outreach, or was there ever a real chance to break away a part of the Pasmanda vote in substantial numbers and bring it onto the BJP bandwagon?
Well, we wouldn't know, Rahul, because the thing is that if they were really trying hard to woo Pasmanda Muslims and trying to reach out in that way, but these kind of incidents, they put everything back to square one. So obviously, if they would have contained these kind of speeches, they would have actioned and neutralized these kind of behavior. Probably we might have seen some kind of deviation. We would have reported if we got in data. But what I'm simply trying to say, that they were trying hard, no doubt about that. We have seen in policy and the speeches and everything. But what public is saying, that, okay, if you were trying hard, but make sure these kind of things don't happen, because if you are trying hard and doing these kind of things at the same time, they just don't match. They cancel out each other. It's not going to have any impact whatsoever.
Okay. So we're going to wrap up this week's edition of the Political Stock Exchange. We were able to look at the mood in Chhattisgarh, which suggests the Congress has the clear edge, even though they're coming down from their highs of 2018. The BJP is bouncing back from the last election, where it was defeated massively, but not being able to close the gap enough to actually go past the Congress. And on the Bidhuri affair, whether you're a BJP voter or a Congress voter, there is very strong disapproval and a demand for greater action. You can't have in this new parliament or anywhere at all MPs making such comments about communities. So thank you very much to Yashwant Deshmukh, the C-Voter team, for providing the data. We'll keep looking at it in every week's edition of the Political Stock Exchange. Thanks to my guests as well. We're slipping into a break. We'll have more for you on the other side. Stay with us for a moment. We look at the reactions to India Today's big expose, Operation Beti Bazaar. Massive impact in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan. I'll get you the details when we come back on the other side. Back in a moment.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company. India Today Conclave 2023, October 4th and 5th, Mumbai. Listen to Sharad Pawar, Devendra Fadnavis, Sushil Kumar Modi, Supriya Sule, Swapan Das Gupta, Aditya Thackeray, Uday Kotak, Arvind Vijay Mohan, Ashish Chauhan, Pradip Gupta, Vijay Verma, Ali Fazal, Bhumi Pednekar, Kusha Kapila, Shehnaz Gill, Urfi Javed. Book your seats now. Visit indiatodayconclave.com. Conclave 2023.
Quality today. In Delhi, 153. In Mumbai, 78. In Kolkata, 118. In Bangalore, 33. In Chennai, 66. In Hyderabad, 89.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
India Today's investigation, Operation Beti Bazaar, has become a big national talking point. From union ministers to leaders from Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, our report has triggered a strong response. There are calls for the strictest action taken against those who have been trafficking young girls in these election-bound states.
Revealing a disturbing truth lurking just beneath the surface.
नाटक करें और आपकी नहीं जमी तो वो आपको पेमेंट वापस मिल जाएगा.
India Today's special investigation team has unveiled the grim reality of child trafficking and the exploitation of young girls for prostitution in the remote regions of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. This expose has triggered urgent calls for action. Strong reactions have poured in from politicians across the spectrum. The ruling BJP has emphasized the necessity of establishing a dedicated task force to combat the menace.
All these places which have low-income economy, these incidents have been happening. I want everyone, a task force be formed, and each police department from one state to the another come on board and coordinate their actions, because ultimately it's a question of rights of women.
The Rajasthan government has pledged to take severe measures against the traffickers caught on camera by India Today.
आपका जो स्टिंग ऑपरेशन है, हमारे पास आपके ऑपरेशन की रिपोर्ट हम ले लेंगे आपसे. हम आज तक का सम्मान करते हैं. हर नेशनल मीडिया, कोई भी हो, स्टेट मीडिया और मीडिया जो समाज के दर्पण के रूप में कहीं कोई बुराई है उसको उजागर करता है, तो हम आपको धन्यवाद देते हैं. उसकी पूरी जांच करके आप ये मानकर चलना, कहीं पर भी ऐसा हुआ है तो आपको सख्त कार्रवाई देखने को मिलेगी.
It's a very horrendous social crime which is happening, and it's in the knowledge of Rajasthan police also. Even in earlier years, we have taken action in Bhilwara. Operation Gudia was launched, in which 24 people were arrested. It's a good initiative by India Today, and we'll definitely carry forward this initiative and we'll take action against these people.
The Aam Aadmi Party and Congress have turned their attention to the poll-bound Madhya Pradesh, criticizing the incumbent state government for its handling of the issue.
शिवराज सिंह जी की सरकार है, जो बेटियों के मामा हैं, उनका ध्यान आज तक इस समुदाय पर क्यों नहीं गया? इस वर्ग के लिए आप कुछ कृपा करते तो उन बेटियों की जिंदगी सुधर जाती. और मैं तो आज तक को धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा कि उन्होंने इस विषय पूरे देश में आवाज़ उठाकर उस सरकार के वास्तविक चेहरे को बेनकाब किया है.
Prime Minister Modi, who's saying that he's the messiah of women empowerment, who's talking about women's reservation bill, that under his watch, how is it possible that girls are still being sold? I want Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi to also take cognizance that in Rajasthan, why is it that there's so many cases of women being raped?
It's a collective responsibility of all stakeholders to combat this scourge. Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where we wrap up the Newstrack tonight. For your time and your trust, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you 8 p.m. Monday evening. I'll be in Chhattisgarh over the weekend, tracking the elections on the ground, trying to marry the results that we saw in the opinion poll with the reportage from the ground. That's what makes this job so exciting. We'll bring back all the insights during our election coverage. Thank you for tuning in. See you on Monday.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
First question that I want to ask all of you is that with this letter that you're sending to the consulate, with the meeting that you were trying to get with the consulate, what are you hoping for that the consulate will do or the Indian government will do?
हम ये सोचकर मेमोरेंडम देने के लिए आए हैं कि कॉन्सलेट जनरल और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फॉरेन अफेयर हिंदुस्तान की वो इस पर दोबारा विचार करें जो इन्होंने पाबंदी लगाई है। सभी लोगों को परेशान करना बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है। अगर उनका कंसर्न किसी स्पेसिफिक बात पर है तो उसके लिए वो एक्शन ले सकते हैं, लें, लेकिन सभी लोगों को परेशान करना, पहले 2-3 साल जो कोरोना काल में निकल गए, सभी लोग बहुत परेशान हुए। आप समझ सकते हैं कि कितनी महंगी टिकट खरीद कर लोग दोबारा उनकी दी हुई टिकट खरीद कर यहाँ पर पहुँचा, और वही सिचुएशन अब क्रिएट होने वाली है, लोगों को साफ दिखाई दे रहा है।
सर ढेरी साहब, आपसे मैं ये पूछना चाहूँगी कि इस समय आप लोग बात कर रहे हैं, कॉन्सुलेट से बात करना चाहते हैं कि इंडियन गवर्नमेंट वापस वीज़ाज को अलाउ करे। इंडिया और कनाडा के बीच इस समय जो जिस तरह से रिलेशनशिप को हम देख रहे हैं, और ख़ास तौर से इस समय जैसे आपके शहर में सरी में भी जिस तरह से माहौल है, उसका क्या असर पड़ रहा है जनरल पब्लिक पे? बिकॉज हम ये देख रहे हैं, हम मीडिया में बार बार आ रहा है, आपके यहाँ के लोकल मीडिया में भी आ रहा है, और हम भी इसी वजह से पूरा इंडिया से आए हैं ये देखने के लिए कि क्या हो रहा है, हो क्या रहा है एग्जैक्टली सरी में इस मुद्दे पर।
देखो, दोनों देशों के जो डिप्लोमेटिक संबंध थे वो अच्छे थे, और इंटरनेशनल तौर पे देशों की संधि भी हुई है, जो एक दूसरे देश के क्रिमिनल्स हो वो एक दूसरे को दिए जाते हैं। यहाँ एक की हत्या हुई है, एक किसी की हत्या होना गलत बात है, हम इंडिविजुअल कत्ल के हकों में नहीं है, मगर उस बात को थ्रू प्रॉपर चैनल करना वो अच्छा रहता है। अगर किसी को ब्लेम करना वो दुखता है। इसलिए दोनों देशों की जो डिप्लोमेटिक संबंध है वो बनने चाहिए दोबारा, और जो बातें हुई है दोनों के बीच में उस फैसले को दोबारा गौर से सोचना चाहिए, ताकि जो आम लोग हैं उनको तंगी हो रही है, क्योंकि लोग सारे जो है वो इश्यूज में इन्वॉल्व नहीं होते हैं। तो जनरल लोग जो हैं, जो जाने आने से रुके हुए हैं, और इकोनॉमी का दोनों देशों पे फर्क पड़ रहा है और अमन खराब हो रहा है, इसको जल्दी से जल्दी दोनों गवर्नमेंटों को बैठ के हल करना चाहिए।
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
At the epicenter of the India-Canada diplomatic storm, India Today outside the Gurudwara in Surrey, in Canada's British Columbia province, where Hardeep Singh Nijjar, designated as a terrorist by India, was shot dead by two men in hoodie sweatshirts on June 18th. India Today, the first Indian media to reach this location for authentic ground reporting. Contrary to Canadian news reports, we found that Khalistani flags and posters targeting Indian diplomats have not been removed from the Gurudwara building.
On the very other side of the Gurdwara gates, a poster very clearly calling for the assassination of Indian diplomats still very much outside the Gurdwara. While they may have removed a couple of the posters, the rest very clearly still exist right here.
Surrey's Guru Nanak Singh Gurudwara, Nijjar led the administration of this sacred site from 2019 until his death on June 18th.
The Canadian law is very clear that while you can protest, while you can ask for a referendum, calling for violence or incitement of hatred against a particular group of people, an identified group of people, is not allowed under Canadian law.
Canada pointed fingers at India for the murder that took place outside the Surrey Gurudwara. India has rejected the accusations from the word go.
The Indian media and the Indian government, as well as the Canadian government, must ask, why are these posters calling for assassination of Indian diplomats still up in the Gurdwara at Surrey, right here behind me? Anisha Mathur bringing you the reports from the ground from Surrey, BC for India Today.
India's most wanted list for Canada. Arshdeep Singh, alias Arsh Dalla, accused of masterminding the murder of a local Congress leader in Punjab's Moga on Monday. A listed terrorist belonging to the outlawed Khalistan Tiger Force, carrying out his operations from Canada. Originally from Tarn Taran in Punjab, Lakhbir Singh linked to the ISI in Punjab. Named in last year's rocket attack on Mohali's intelligence building. Gangster Goldie Brar, alias Satwinder Singh, accused of orchestrating the murder of singer Sidhu Moosewala from his den in Canada. At least 12 men wanted in connection with serious crimes in India, terrorism included, have found a safe sanctuary in Canada. Many of them carrying out their nefarious activities in India remotely and with impunity.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist.
Co-presented by JK Tyre Ranger Series, stay wild at heart.
Co-presented by
हर घर का हीरो, ग्रीन प्लाई का E0. Co-powered by PolicyBazaar.com, हर family होगी insured. Co-powered by the bold look of Kohler.
कांग्रेस का ठेका अब कुछ अर्बन नक्सलियों के पास है। कांग्रेस में अब अर्बन नक्सलियों की ही चल रही है।
जैसे ही रिमोट कंट्रोल दबता है, अदानी जी को बंबई का एयरपोर्ट मिल जाता है।